Hey, hello, hi everybody. Hope all of you are doing well. Hi Adam, good morning to you. Good evening to me. It's 9 p.m. here in Hong Kong. Nice to see you today. We are in day 25 of March challenges with MLH. I cannot believe that it's been like a month of us running these challenges. They have been super fun and super nice to run with all of you. So what are we doing today? As I have written down here, we are going to design our brands in today's challenge. So let's see how that goes out. The brand could be like your own personal brand, or it could be like an idea that you're working on. Let's try to figure out those ropes. Even if you're not a developer, let's see how that goes. Sorry, if you're not a designer. I'm not a designer too. So it might be fun after all. Who knows? But before we get into all of that, there's still a lot of logistics that we need to get out of the way. So the first thing that you need to do, which I'm pretty sure most of you have done by now, is check in at hackpack/March challenges right here. Okay, so actually I'll share my screen. Let's go through all of those one by one on Discord. All right. So if you are on the community channel, I would have already shared this with you. So let's open that up and do all of the steps mentioned there. Okay. So we are in the March challenges, adding it to the stream. Yes. So the first thing that you need to do is open the hackpack/March challenges link, which takes you to the browser. Okay. Let me share my whole desktop. Yes. Share. Go there. And ta-da. So you got to register and check in to the MLH March challenges. All of these here. Just do a sweet check-in after you've logged into your account. And once you've done this, open the other link that we have here, which is this particular events link, which is design a brand. So I have it open up here. Make sure to register here, and we're good to go. All right, you have finally registered to it. You're on the stream, so you've basically done everything that needed to be done for today's logistics. Also, would love to see all of your designs. So as soon as you all are done, or like you've created anything, don't forget to put it up here in the dev post link that we have. Please, 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 I would love to see what you all make today with me so that I'm not the only one embarrassing myself. All right, so without any further delays, let us get started for today's brand building. So I am assuming we don't really have a brand in mind right now. So let's take some time to think of what you all want to design. Do you want to design your own brand, or do you have like a crazy startup idea in mind, or it's maybe like a silly club thing that you want to proceed, that you want to build a brand for? Maybe it has something to do with the LHG guild and you want to make like a proper brand out of your guild. Let us do that today. Do whatever you want to. But before we dive into it, let us first talk about what brand actually is. So is brand like your logo, your colors, or typography? Is that what brand means? I was actually quite confused before I started the stream. So I went ahead on YouTube and I watched a couple of long videos. There's this one person called Marty Newmeyer, and he's apparently a god when it comes to branding. And I will be sharing a few of his thoughts that I learned over a couple of days this week. Okay. So branding, while it is communicated via the colors, the logos, the font face, the typefaces, it really isn't just all of those things. The brand is the idea that is behind yourself or behind your company, and it is something that you're trying to convey to your customers or to the people in your network. So previously, companies used to build brands, and then they used to attract customers, but the scene has changed quite a lot today. So what happens now is that you have a company, you have customers, and then the customers ultimately build the brand for you. So your brand is ultimately something that makes the customer identify your company, or how the customers identify with your brand. So it has less to do with your company and your product, and it has more focus on the customer. So when it comes to your brand, how does the customer fit in? These are the sort of things which sound a little bit abstract, but this is what we have to think about when we're trying to build our brand. So now when we design stuff, when we have a logo, when we have the colors, these are supposed to sort of help us convey the ideas or the messages that we have in mind for the brand that we're trying to build. So all they are is like a helping tool, but they necessarily don't define what your brand is. Your brand defines what your colors and your typefaces and your logos are. I hope all of this is not getting like too abstract, because it did feel like that to me. But I think once we have ideas in mind, and once we start picking colors and fonts, we will sort of like understand what is going on. Okay, so I want to hear a couple of ideas from you all about what you will be building a brand for today. Adam is excited for the Melon Squad, and I hope to see some really cool stuff for our squad here today. Adam, I actually was thinking of working an idea that I sort of spinned up over a hackathon a couple of weekends ago. It had something to do with sustainable fashion and building like a platform for different small and medium-sized sustainable fashion brands to come together and like put up their stuff on. So that is the sort of direction that I will be focusing in on today. That's how I'll be choosing my colors. But I would love to know what you all are thinking of. So let me see in the comments what you all are thinking of. You could just say that you're going to build a brand for yourself. I mean, that's completely fair, and that's what we need to do as developers, designers, as people. If we have to like put ourselves out there in the network, we have to build a brand. So let me know what you all are thinking of doing today. And in the meanwhile, I will start sharing my screen. So I will be online for a couple of more hours today. I think so. Yes, Adam. But it's 9 p.m. so it won't be like more than 4 hours. God is trying to sleep on time now. Okay. So today, the one tool that I'll be using to do everything is going to be Figma. I have realized that I need to make Figma my best friend, because I don't seem to be able to use Illustrator or Photoshop or any of those other Adobe softwares. They seem too complex to me. So we will be hitting it on Figma today. So let's go there actually. Okay, just a second. Ooh. Yes, let's get on stream. And here we have a Figma page. All you have to do to get here is open Figma and just like log in with your account. Since I'm already logged in, you're seeing this page. Otherwise, you would see like a home page and you'll have to sign in and everything. So let's create like a blank screen. And the first thing that we need to like think about is what my brand sort of, is trying to convey. So since I'm building something that is related to sustainable fashion, which means it has got to do with the environment and the people. So these are the sort of concepts and ideas that I will have to keep in mind when I'm trying to design the brand for basically this idea. So the first thing that I have in mind to do is picking a color palette. So I sort of want to go with the 3-color rule, which says you need like a primary color, a secondary color, and an accent color. They sort of say on the internet that you should follow this 60-30-10 rule. I don't know if the numbers are in the right order, but I think they should be. So we're going to pick up like 3 colors. So let me just make like blanks for them. And we will go online on like various color hunting sites and see what it is that we want to be using today. What is it that is going to speak with our brand? What is going to speak with our ideas? And what's going to look good overall in the designs here? So yeah, like I said, we have 3 things. We have our main color, which will be basically used in 60% of our designs. Then we will have our secondary color, which will basically be used in 20 to 30% of the places. And then like a little bit of color we will add via our accent color. And apart from this, what other thing that we need to pick is the typeface, which basically means that what is the one font that we will be using throughout our website. and maybe sort of using that in the logo as well if we decide to make like a text-based logo. Okay, so let's go to color hunt and try to find a palette that sort of suits us. So since the whole idea is regarding sustainable fashion and the environment, I'm thinking that the sort of tones that I want would be a bit earthy. So you can see there are so many palettes here that you can just pick from. It makes the task of like picking colors that go well together so much simpler. So let's see what color would look good here. Okay, these are sort of earthy tones, which might look nice. So yeah, I think I can go ahead with these. What I can do is just like download the image and put it up on Figma. This is super huge. So and now as you can see, this has like a lot of colors. And like we said, we're sort of only looking for like 2-3 colors. So what I'm thinking so far is I will take the main color as this darker green color. So just pick it from here and put that as my main color. The secondary color could be this lighter green shade that we have, which I can use in certain places. And then this yellow looks very nice for an accent color. So let's do that. Let's go there, pick this, and we have successfully chosen the color palette for ourselves. I'm going to delete this for a while since we don't seem to be needing it. Seems like I'm sorted with my color theme. So these are sort of green or the tones, which I think would go very well with my my brands and my brand's ethos. Okay, so let me know what you all have so far so that yes, Figma is super cool. I have sort of not tried Adobe Spark. I'm obsessed with Figma. I can't seem to be able to do anything else. So, Kaz, you were asking what is accent color, which is a very nice question. Let's actually, so basically accent color is this color that you sort of put in buttons or maybe you're highlighting stuff. It's the color which sort of pops like I don't know what the official definition is, but whenever we've used accent colors in designs, I've sort of seen that it's the color that stands out in a way. But why not, like why shouldn't we just like Google what it is? So let's check it out. Accent color. So there are colors that are used for emphasis in the color scheme. I think I had it sort of right. So yeah, anything that sort of gives you this opportunity to highlight things a little bit. Why don't you all tell me what you're building, and do you all mind dropping in your Figma links so that we can just see what everybody else is doing? You don't necessarily need, you please make sure to like put them on not edit mode. But yeah. Adam, I would love to see what you're building for the Melon Squad. Don't just tell me that you're building Melon Squad stuff. Share the Figma link with us here or like the Spark link here and show us what everybody is doing. Okay, going back to our designing. Now let's think of like a font that we can use for, okay, before I think of the font, let's sort of discuss the logo, like what direction you want your logo to be in. As you know, you can have like various sorts of logos. They could just be like initials, like HP has, they don't write Hewlett and Packard, they just say HP. Or you could have a logo which is completely verbose, which has the whole name of the company, like Microsoft. Their logo is Microsoft, right? Now it's also like an icon, but well, that is how they started. Or you could also go a little bit more abstract, where you don't really have any text on your logo and it's just a graphic, like Apple does. Apple is just an apple. Or you can combine your abstract logos and your text, and you can go with something like Adidas has. So they have an abstract logo. Let's just open these. We're doing the visual stuff. So this is the older logo, but they have their logo as well. Wow, why is it still showing the old logo? Yes. So they have the logo and they have the text there. So this is also like a pretty nice way. Mostly we use like the full text method when we're trying to establish what a brand is. That is when like a brand is not very well established and you sort of want to get your name out there. It's quite useful to use like a full text based logo. So that is what I'm going to do here today. I feel like it's important to emphasize the name of my brand more right now because it might be harder to like, give it an abstract. But I would also try to do something like Adidas does and, have both options. So like some place in the website or, places which are like, which don't have space for the whole abstract, we can just put like the text, and in other places you can sort of go ahead and use the whole image or a banner. So that is it. And one more thing that we haven't mentioned is the name of your brand. So I have decided to call my brand, as it was called during last weekend, we call it Low Clothes. It's sort of trying to, it's sort of like a wordplay on local. You want to sort of convey that it's locally sourced clothes. So we're calling it Low Clothes. Okay. So what sort of typeface now would you use for a logo that is completely text based? So before we're doing that, let's create like a small frame here for ourselves. This is where we can go ahead and design a logo. What you can do is you can have like any size logos, and anything that you will create here would be vectors. So you don't have to worry too much about the size because no matter how much you scale it, it's still going to look like not pixelated at all. Love vectors. Okay, so let's come here to text and let's see what is it that we want to, how is it that we want to style it. So if I'm making like a text-based logo, this is just the text, but this cannot be a logo, right? So we need to set a typeface for it. We need to have some spacing between characters, and we need to make it look like a logo. So we do not want robots. Okay. Also, Figma allows us to bring us our own fonts, and we can sort of add these fonts here in the settings, but I don't really have any fonts to bring for now, so we'll just let that be. Okay. So let's come here and let's try to give it a font. I'm not really fixed on any one font, so I'll just like randomly start from a point and see, how they look, and hope that something sticks to me. Something that, so people always say that the typeface that you pick should sort of resonate with your brand idea, but I find it very hard to like make it objective. So I just feel like you have to go through a couple of fonts. You have to put it in your website, you have to put it in your banners, and then you just have to see if they work out for you. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Just like look at them and see if I sort of like them. So this is the font that I do think could be used. So I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to make a copy and then just, compare a couple of designs. So these don't seem to be going with my concept. Maybe they do with yours. How are you all doing so far? What are more people working on? What is it that you are building today? Okay, so let's do this. Nah, not looking really great. Okay. Nah, let's keep going. Picking a font is a hard task. It's also sort of annoying because it's very hard to compare how two different fonts are looking. Mm. Okay. Um, Okay, so these are the two fonts that I sort of like. Yeah, So I think I'm going to go ahead with the Merryweather font. It seems a little more logo-ish to me at this point. So I'm going to put this draft aside and try to like build this one. We need to increase the spacing because, well, yeah, this is not very well spaced. Do we have an option here to do anything of the sort? Seems like we do not. Let me see. Okay. So we have casing. The casing seems to be fine here. No decoration. Letter form, styling sets. Okay. All good. So how can we give it a bit more space? I think first of all, let's give it a bigger size that, looks more. So this is the idea that we discarded. This particular logo. No. Yes. So this is discarded stuff. This is the one that we are sort of sticking with, and I will create this whole frame to be the place which stores my logo. So just make it 20 by 20 and just wanted it to be a square. I can increase this, decrease the size for this, and yeah. Do we want it to be bold or regular? I think, or maybe even light. I think I like the light one more. Seems to gel better. Now we sort of have these colors, and let's see, how they would look if we use them in the logos. So what we can do is maybe let's try using this color on the fill, and then maybe whenever we're using the logo, we can sort of have it on a greenish backdrop and, sorry, this is the frame and this is the full color of the frame. So why don't we try putting something of this sort? So this is the sort of vibe that, I'm trying to achieve. And this is like a simple logo for how I'd be designing it. But if you want to go like a little bit more crazy and, you want to have figures, curves, you can actually do all of that here. So if you were to make something a bit more, wait, let me try to create something like if you have any sort of vector here, yeah, okay. Right. I don't know what I'm making. I'm just trying to show you like a simple vector so that you can see how those work and how you can possibly use them. So I think just this one line should be enough. Yes. We take this. I have made this a stroke. I can change the color to sugar light white and sort of use this. It's like a viewer figure, but I'll just show you like how this works in Figma and like how you can export all of this stuff. So just take the two of them and you can go and export, and you have these options here. You can click like an SVG and you can export these two layers. So they will be exported separately because they were like two different things. So you can see that you have your logo or SVG in place. So we build this low clothes logo, just a text thing, but we can easily export it as an SVG. SVG is basically one of your, it's a vector format to store all the vector graphics. In that way, you can like resize it and it won't get pixelated at all. So let's remove that. Okay, now what if I actually wanted to add some like abstractions to it? Okay, you could just take like any of the shapes here. You could take the pen tool and you could draw whatever you want and you could export it. I'll leave it here. I want to keep it this simple. So we have a typeface in place, which is, wait, what's the typeface that we chose? That was, I think it's called Merriweather. Okay. We have a Merriweather typeface, we have the colors, and we have a sort of working logo at this point. Okay, so what is the next step that you would want to do? Obviously, like build a more digital presence. You want to be there on like major social media platforms, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you really do want to have a website. One thing that we do want to keep in mind is that we are consistent in our colors, in our designs, in our fonts, in whatever social media platform we are using. It sort of quite helps quite a lot to like just take the same content and use it in like different ways on different platforms, depending on like, what sort of content goes better there. So now let's try to build like a simple website for our brand idea. So we can take a frame, and from here I can decide what I want to do. So sorry, what sort of device I want to build it for. So let's just say I want to build it for MacBook Pro. So it'll build this whole frame for me that is for a MacBook Pro, right? So this is the size that I need to keep in mind and I need to develop for this. So let's sort of make so what are the things that we would want? We can make like a simple header. We can just like go ahead and keep this white for now. And just a second. Let's do stuff. Where are you guys at and what are all of you doing? Oh, thank you so much. Fonts.google.com. Yes, it's a good place to like, get all your fonts. And especially if you're using websites, you're always sort of using different sorts of fonts. So you want to use these third-party places to link them so that your user is always able to see the font face that you choose. So yeah. And folks, why don't you all share what you are doing as well? Like, I love it that you are interested in what I'm building, but it's a challenge where I want all of you to build together with me. So yeah, do share what you all are doing. All right. Okay, so this is what we have here. Let's see the stoke. I don't want the whole thing to be outlined actually. And okay, I'm just going to use a bad hack. I'm just going to make it bigger than the frame so that I get my line where I want it. All right. So above this line, I can just have sort of have my logo and basically the navigation options. But since my logo looks like nicer on like a grain background, instead of keeping this white, I'll just go ahead and give it this color. I can paste our font there. Yes. Okay. So we have low clothes here, right here. And now we sort of want to build our basic navigation options, which is, I will make this smaller. Do not worry. This is too big for navigation. Okay. So let's style it first and then copy it in places. 18 is a pretty good size when it comes to the font size for navigation stuff. You don't want your font size to be too big when it comes to websites. Or you can do it too if that is how your brand speaks. Mostly I'll be using black only for all the font coloring, but let me try this darker green color that we have. Okay. So I think it is okay and it could be used as like our active color. But since this green is like a little lighter, maybe we will not want to use this color. I'm not getting very good vibes from it. Maybe it's better to stick to black here. Yes, I think it makes it more visible in that scenario. So just do that. We'll have a home, we have a shop, and we can make like a simple contact, and here you have your basic login. Now I think I'll remove login and just keep these three. So say these, select them together and sort of put these here. So now we do want to specify like what is the current, selection. So let's try going to our basic colors, or let's try selecting the yellow that we have. It seems to be a little too, so we always want somehow to our contrast to be high. And in case of the logo, since like it's like a bigger font, the medium contrast works. But in this case, I think I prefer like a higher contrast, and I would go with like, this color. And let's try to make this bold actually instead of, yeah, I think bold looks better. And we can have light for the text. Perfect. And we can put like this little circle below it. So really tiny circle that we have here to show that, this is selected. This needs to be smaller. So let's give it 10, no, 8, perfect. And this could have that bit of accent color that we have, right? So that's a simple navigation bar. And now we want to create like a nice, what I have in mind is that I want a nice illustration over here. So this is the place for me where so either you can use like a really nice image to sort of show what your company does, or you could. I've always seen I as a person am always very attracted to websites which have nice images, nice illustrations on their front page, which also gives me like a sense of what they ultimately do. So let's try to make an illustration for that. Filling this with white and giving it a stroke. This is just a placeholder right now so that we can create the sort of illustration that I'm talking about. Okay, wait, let's see what you all are talking about. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your work. This is Adam's work. Everybody, you can go and check it out here. And you can feel free to join. Wait, why can't I copy from Twitch? This seems to be hard. But yeah, feel free to like join our squad for the local hack day. Yay, it's going to be fun. Can't wait for it to get started. Yep. All right, let's get back to designing now. I get distracted way too much. Okay, so another amazing website that you all should really know about is undraw.co. So you can, these are like open source illustrations. You can just put in your color and you can get these amazing illustrations for your designs. So since this is sort of my primary color from what I'm seeing here, but I think we've used it too much. So I'll go with this color. I'll just copy this and put it here. And there we go. So we have like a lot of designs and we can search for what is it that we're looking for. So I can just search for fashion and like create my illustration using some of these designs. So I kind of like this illustration. I can just download the SVG for this. I hope I can import SVGs here. Pretty sure we can. Okay, wonderful. So we have this big illustration and we can actually like go ahead and change the colors of all of this. This is why illustrations are cool. Okay. So why wouldn't it resize it? No. Okay, don't do this. Wonderful. Okay. So we sort of want an illustration here, and all right, put it right there. And now what we can do is like fill it with a bit more of colors and like change, different stuff. So to make it like work more with what we are doing. So let's change, say, the color of this to match the brand colors that we have here, right? And yeah, looks, I think this works well. And now we need to put like more text stuff, which will sort of go with what we are trying to do. So let's think of what sort of text stuff I can put. Let me open a couple of designs. Oh, by the way, one very great place to like take inspiration for all of your design stuff is Dribble. So you can just like search for what kind of stuff you're trying to build, and you can get like good design inspiration from here, like great inspiration. So do make use of it if you're trying to like build something. I can try to find some designs here that I can take inspiration from. I think my mind is working right now. So I will continue to make use of it. The images in Discord. Sorry, Adam, which images on Discord? I did not get it. All right. So here we have this. Now it's sort of hard to think of text. Let me think of text. I can try to pull up the slides that. So since it's this, we can say fashioning a sustainable you, right? And then you just sort of like, and okay. And over this vibe, we keep it light and actually, okay, can't change that. So I have to write it again. Functioning or sustainable you, right? So we got this, and I can try removing the stroke that I have here. Um, I have something going on in my mind. What if I fill this back to white and take this instead to green? Will it pop my illustration up a bit more? And then I can choose to, okay, wait, let's go back to our original color. Change this particular thing to sort of black for now, and now change the fill. What do you all think? What format sort of looks better? The one that we had, like having a green nav bar, or like having a green sort of, banner? Any ideas? Any thoughts on what actually looks better? I'm going to put that up again and wait, sorry. Yes, you can see previously we were doing a nav bar which was more green in color, but then we sort of moved to the banner being green with the background and the nav bar being white. We can obviously like sort of delete some of these components that don't seem to be like gelling well. Yeah. What do you all think? No thoughts here? All right. I can remove the stroke from here also. I think I'm going to go with my gut feeling, which says that, we should go with this color, and we can add more stuff to it. Fashioning. Oh no, why is it gaps on it? This is quite strange. Okay. Okay. No case. Yes. Probably something to do with the typeface that can't really help with. So we will just stick with this fashioning sustainable hue 52. All right. And then we sort of want to obviously always give users something to like act on. So let's make a button. This can be sort of the size, and we don't, I'm not really into curves these days, so no rounded buttons for me, and then we will be here saying shop now. And make it quite small, 24. And we do want like the margin to be smaller than this. So smaller button, and yeah, now putting this into place here, and now we can go ahead and change the colors and everything for this. And the text, we can take it and like make it, okay, no, yep, seems to work out. Yep, okay. This is definitely not in center, so let's just center all of this out. Okay. I think adding an icon here would be nice. So I have a plugin installed called Material Design Icons. We can open that up. Hope it opens. Yes. And I can search for a card. And this is a card and paste. Perfect. So we have a card icon here and we should be good to go. Okay. I'm sort of trying not to like fill it with too much color, but still give it color at the same time. It's a tricky thing to do. All right. Okay. So getting like a brief idea of what this would look like, and now I would want to like talk about the main features of say the website or the brand. So I'm sort of thinking of going for like a 3-column design here where I can talk about the different features. So sort of like take like a line tool, or actually for better placement, it's easier to go with like a box. Yeah, okay. So, okay, they were not exactly divided by 3. What is the whole? Let's do some math. So it's 1440 divided by 3 would give us 480. So that is what I need to go for here. We go for 480, and is actually a very recent realization that once you like design your mobile apps or your websites, it sort of becomes very simple to then like, design, like actually code them from that point onwards, which is why I've become yeah, a bit more of a fan of like using this stuff. Previously I used to sort of hate it. Yeah, so also what we can do is maybe we can like take a couple of these and just, oh no, take this. Okay, and we've copied, and what I'm sort of thinking is to like flip it and put it behind, and just a second, or we can just like add another, like I don't know, I felt like it was looking too plain, so just want to add. Okay, yeah, and no, just this shouldn't really go like this. Let's see, no, just want to increase the size of the frame and not everything inside it. Okay, never mind, it's sad. Let's just take these and put all of them in frame so that it doesn't look like they're cut. Yeah, and just this last one. Very picky with this for some reason. Thank you. And yeah, All right. I think we added like a bit more color to this. Now let's talk about, features. So let's say that the features that I want to talk about is recyclable. I'm getting bad at English now. Recyclable. I think it does not have an E. Too used to, oh my God, spelling checks. Recyclable. Yes, there is no E. I'm right. Okay, it is recyclable. It is, what else is it? Key qualities or stuff that we can think about for staying the brand. Recyclable, we can say they're fair trade, and let's say they're locally sourced. So I'm sort of just trying to convey like, these ideas that people can look at it and they can feel like, yes, this is where I want to buy my clothes from. Or they can feel like, oh, this is the place where I want to sell clothes because, these are the sort of clothes that I make. So we're trying to create this space where our users can fill themselves in. So yeah, just like talking about those here. And what I have in mind is like maybe putting graphics here instead of more text because this text itself explains quite a lot. So let's see if we can get any illustrations. But they need to be like really simple and not no, nothing here. Let's see. What other sort of? So it's sort of hard to like pick illustrations because we obviously won't find something from the same name. So we will have to like search for related stuff. What could that be? This takes work. We might find an icon for recycle actually. Recycle. Else we know where to go. Another place that sort of gives us free stuff to use is Flat Icon. So we do find most of the stuff there, though it might be a little hard to get SVGs from there. We would want to change the colors of whatever we're making. So where are all of you at? Okay, so for your grammar, you prefer a green nav bar with green body. Hi, Mohit. So what we're trying to do here is like design stuff for our brands. So what I made so far with everybody on stream is like sort of deciding the color schemes and like the main colors that we were using. What are the key things that we're focusing on, the name and the typeface that I'm sort of trying to use throughout the website because I want to keep it consistent. So this is what we have so far. We're trying to find, icons or illustrations that we can put here that sort of convey this, convey the key features of the platform, or so that the users feel like they have a so that the users feel like they've sort of found a spot in there and like it's something that they can fit in. Don't want to fill it with too much text. I'm trying to find good images, but they're hard to come by. Okay, this is nice. I think goes well, but I don't want to download PNGs. So let's hope that we can find an SVG and don't have to pay for it. Oh, I don't have to pay for it. That's great. So let me try this one. Looks better. And since we're not using it commercially, it's okay if we're not attributing the authors here. But if you do use it commercially, please do remember to like check the license of whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so recyclable. We have this. Let's take it back to like where lighter shade, putting this there, and we do want to change the colors to match them with our platform. So take the darker one here, and okay, the second group is this. Take the fill and make it like the one that we're using everywhere. And yeah, or what we can do is we can use our accent color here as well. Oh wow. Changing these to sort of oh no. Okay, and yes, let's think I would prefer the greens more. Yeah, okay. Going with the greens. So it's recyclable. We want to say it's fair trade. I hope I do find an icon for that also. Makes our work so much simpler. This is a fair image. Think looks good. Can go ahead with this one. No, this is the hands are not. They're too abstract right now. Okay. So I think let's take this one. Yeah. And download it. Cooperation. And we just have to keep in mind that whatever illustrations we take, we sort of have to make them match with the theme and the colors that we have going on throughout the website. If we just use this as it is, it's sort of going to look odd because it's not following the colors that are there. So let's see if we can actually make use of this or if we'll have to get something else for ourselves. So here we can take the darker green color, this, and mainly I think we need to change the color of that. Okay, let's zoom in a bit and let's make all the greens match, and we have to be really picky with this stuff. Done. We don't want to edit the whole thing. Okay, this exactly, and this we can take it to this color, and the only thing remaining here is sort of the hand and basically the color there on the yes, exactly this color. No, it is not this, not this. Oh no, I think it was this only. Let us try to pick a color and see. Nope, not this. Oh, you could also change the shape of the vectors very easily through the pen tool here. So that's nice. Trying to select this, but it won't get selected. Oh, this is the purple color, and we can replace it with our trademark yellow, and one more vector to go, and then we're done with editing this. We're close. Okay, not that simple. Yeah, this is the top one, and yes. Okay. And there we go. We have edited this logo also to suit our site's colors. And the last thing that we need to do is the locally sourced illustration. Now, okay, the best thing about this is that now that we've created all of this stuff, we can use the same colors, the same illustrations, and we can make Instagram posts out of it. We can make the cover banner for our Facebook page and all of those things. So the benefit of sort of designing these things even for your website is that then you can use a lot of it for your social media content. And in that way, everything that you're sort of building or designing is going in sync. and you don't have to design multiple times because you can just make use of that one design that you've made. So let's go. And I think flat icon is good. It's good. I mean, makes sense. This is what locally sourced would look like. So, but they only have a PNG, it seems like it. Oh no, they do have download. And there you go. Flat icon did save us today quite a lot. Going back to this locally sourced and okay. No stickies, thank you. All right, there we have it. Let's go to make the full white and the colors here. That is something we need to fix as always. Hoping that these are easier than the other ones that we've done. No, we were using this color, and for the second leaf we can use our light green color, and similarly here we can use the light green color and the yellow. It seems like a little bit like, you know, we're being too picky with everything, but the thing is, it sort of makes a good amount of difference when you put the whole design into perspective. So important to be this picky sometimes. I think I'll try to keep it black because the other variant would be the green color that we have. Okay. So yeah, this is sort of what, if I had a web page for my brand, this is sort of what it would look like. I'm trying to like clearly convey, like keeping it a bit minimal, not adding too much text to it, and hoping that the customer finds themselves in this design or in these concepts to, you know, sort of get the idea. So yeah, I think now it's time to like get a check from all of you where you are and, you know, what are you all doing. Thank you so much, guys, for the wishes. Thank you so much. Okay, so folks, why don't you all show me what you have going? I think it's time to see what Adam was building. So Adam, I'm going to put your stuff right here. People, please go check out what Adam is building. He's building stuff for the Melon Squad, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, let us go there and see. Okay, one last time, I think I'll try to make like an Instagram post. Oh, that's sad, Adam. I'm glad. I'm pretty sure we'll see more stuff in the local hack day. So no problems there. Oh, wonderful. I will actually open that up and check those out. Okay. There are too many channels in the MLH community channel, so I will definitely try that later on. Okay, so the last thing that I'm trying to do on stream today is going to be just like making use of what we have here and making like an Instagram post for it. Okay, so I'm sort of quite obsessed with like the three post patterns that we have on Instagram, where you try to like keep the whole theme going and you sort of make these three posts in coordination. So that is what I'm going to try to do. Let's see if I am able to finish this in 15 to 20 minutes, since we don't want to keep the stream too long today. Okay, so making a square size here, let's do it 400 by 400, and no, I think that's too small. Though it doesn't matter so much because I think we'll be exporting. No, never mind, let's make it big. 200 by 300. So I'll keep it like sort of simple stuff. I'll try to like make use of the logo, the illustration, and the tagline that we have. Okay, let's see what we can do. First of all, put like the same fill that we have been using and just, duplicate that everywhere. We have our 3 frames in place. Then I think having the logo in the center would be the thing to do. So we can just take this and increase the font size to something bigger. And okay, so and then we can make use of the tagline, which is imagining a sustainable view, and let's make this like super tiny. That down here, and there we go. There we have our low clothes in place. Yes. And so the 2 things that I can put on the left and the right side is this graphic and our like key features. So let's copy this frame. So sort of increase this in size and we can sort of put this in the corner for like, branding stuff. Making small font. This is too small. Okay. Not when we sync it. So we can just provide this small branding on the sides for even our post if we want to. Maybe on this side would look a bit better. So there we go. And the last thing is the features that we have. Just plug these in and put these here. Actually, technically, these features could have been like a separate post in themselves, like 3 features, 3 posts, because you can talk about how all of these 3 things make a difference and everything of that sort. But given that I'm trying to create this, given the lack of content on my end at this point, I will just go ahead and like do this. Okay, so I will have to change the color, unfortunately, but that is okay. This also doesn't look that bad. How would white color look if we... Oh, I think white looks good. So let's try to change that here as well. Not bad. I think we can go with white. Bit bored of black at this point. Okay, so just taking this, increasing it a bit in size, and we can create like a triad. So, and we can portrait. Sort of saying that these are 122 all in size, so let's try to stick to that. And this is 32, so keeping our text 32, color to... Okay, just think we will be done on time. I do not want to extend this time of my stream today. They've been going for way too long, the other ones. Okay, so one last thing to do is the locally sourced, and then we should be done. Okay, so they centered, and there's one on the side, and this. All right. So we sort of, okay, we could make this prettier, but you get the vibe. Like, this is sort of what we're trying to achieve. And you could basically pour your heart out in the caption, and you have stuff ready for your website as well as your social media pages. So this is sort of how you build a brand, folks. I hope you all had fun. Mohit, I am using Figma, and it's free, it's online, you don't really need to install anything. So yeah, just use that. Okay, so thank you all for joining. I hope you all had fun, and I hope that all of you also built something for your designs. Please make sure to put your submissions on MLH March Challenges Dev Post page. Would love to see what you all are building, and would love to discuss any other ideas that you all have. Have a good day, folks, and thank you all for joining. Bye-bye.